feel that the creative stuff bleeds into one another. So for me, like, I always grew up. Go ahead.
That's exactly where my head was going with this conversation.
Like the creative stuff for me, like I started when I was younger. I would make little comic books, and I would make little comic books in my journal or my notebook, and then that transitioned into me starting the piano in middle school, and then in high school I got into the videos, and in college I picked up a guitar, and the whole time I was doing that I was surfing and skiing, which is creative in itself. And it's like all these different activities that I have, and now I journal and I write songs and play the guitar and do all these things. I feel they all bleed into each other.
What's up, everyone?
We should be live.
Yeah,
What is up?
Yeah, I'm excited to meet y'all for the
Me too.
first time formally. Because
Yes.
every other time has been informal on the phone. So
Yeah.
Or Instagram Live.
yeah, or Instagram Live. So how are y'all? It's good to link with y'all. Good energy going on right
I am
now.
psyched to have you here, Darnell.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Corey.
Yeah, Darnell.
My official, unofficial second shooter. We have a wedding going on in the Dominican Republic,
Yeah.
May 6th to
Through
the
9th.
9th.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be fucking.
You gave me that call.
Yeah.
You had me. I was sitting at my desk editing.
He said I stood up.
He called me. He's like, how would you feel going to Dominican wedding May 6th? And I like stood up out of my chair. I was like, you serious?
Yeah, hell yeah, bro.
I remember the other day I was sitting with you at DV Tree, and Corey goes, "Dude, Darnell just bought me a plane ticket to the Dominican."
I didn't buy it.
No, the bride bought it.
Bride bought it.
Yeah.
Or the bride bought it.
Yeah.
But he's like, "Yo, I just got a plane ticket from Darnell. I'm going here." I was like, "No way."
He said, yeah, bro. Weddings be like that, bro. I've been to
Yeah.
Mexico like 6 times just for all weddings, bro. Like you have to make cool with the vendors. And I think that's the name of this wedding game is making cool with all the vendors you come across, and they'll always throw you referrals. You just gotta be positive energy.
So you've been building out that whole business since you started. Like,
From the jump, you gotta do it the right way. Like how Drake started his rap career. That's how I try to like apply every one of Drake's songs for the most part are like fucking they're hits. Like
Yeah.
he don't miss, and he stays on top. He stays ahead of it like every trend. And I feel like entrepreneurship, let's take Drake out of the equation. You have to start your career like and do shit the right way. You know what I'm saying? So that means tagging every vendor in your films, getting all their information, giving them shout outs, giving other vendors referral. I literally have an Excel spreadsheet of 5 years worth of vendors that I've met all throughout my careers, from DJs to florists to wedding venues. And once you put them in your tribe, you'll always have. Now I'm on certain vendors, their wedding filmmaker list. So when brides come in, we have this Forever Filmworks, you can go with them. So it's just a circle of business.
and it seems like whatever business you're in the weddings, I'm more in the social media stuff. He's in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about just building relationships and expanding that network in whatever you're doing.
1,000%.
Even
Yeah.
for me, I have a list of vendors. Right? We call it our book of allied resources.
Yeah.
At least in the real estate world, we're not working with venues. We're working with, inspectors, contractors, appraisers, structural engineers. You got a whole list of vendors
Yeah.
that you need to have that spreadsheet, because it's a circle of business of people that you do business with. And you can also, I'm sure you experience this, you can get discounts for your clients, or it saves your money, saves money for you.
I'm all about saving the money, but I'm not giving out any discounts. Don't ask me.
Not
for
so
that.
you give out discounts, but like it works, when you get a new client and they're shooting in Mexico and you've already been to that venue 5 times,
Yeah.
they're much more welcoming, and at least from the vendor side, right?
1,000%. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. You have to have a relationship with everyone in your respective industry. And I always tell people, it doesn't matter what career you're in, whether it be weddings for me, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're a real estate agent, you're trying to build your social media content, and you're trying to build other brands' business. You have to be able to connect with those people and different vendors and have those relationships. You need a Rolodex of people that you can call upon. That way, when you do a good job for them, they'll send you business. You know what I'm saying? Like if I do a good job for a bride, which I aim to do 10 times out of 10, they're going to send me a referral. You have the bank for that. Real estate's the same way. The business the business that you're entering is the same way. When you get that client, I don't give a damn if it's free. Like, knock it out the park. my weddings, when I first started, how I got business was shooting it for free and knocking it out the park. Not, oh, I'm taking this wedding for free, I'm a half-ass it. No, like, go crazy, bro. Like, because that's your portfolio piece, which is a big reason why I want you to shoot weddings for me. Yeah, maybe you won't be entering that industry, but I promise you, shooting weddings will teach you everything you need to know about the camera because it's so real time and you have to talk to people. Like I'm saying, you have to be in command of the situation. You know what I mean?
And I kind of want to touch on that because I know you were working on building your library of, I guess, content that or at least content that you've put together because you're working with small businesses and that's how you started your business is by going out and shooting venues for free. And then you've built a book of credibility, you could call it.
That's what it is. Yep.
Yeah. And is that how you ultimately got your first paid clients?
So ultimately how I got my first paid clients stemmed from, shooting that first wedding for free. But before weddings, I was doing what Corey's doing, what he's doing right now a little bit, which is pitching businesses. Hey, I'll help your business stand out. I would like vet them, go through their social media content, and whatever they didn't have, I'd bring it to their attention. Like, yo, you could be doing a lot better in this area. Let me do it for free. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll send them the video, but I'll put a watermark over it. And I'll say, hey, I gave you 30 seconds of this. If you want the rest of it, I can break it up into reels for you and we can really make this thing happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, how else are you going to get it? If you being a business owner, if somebody was like, oh, I'll shoot a house for you. Well, how much? $800 or whatever. You're like, $800. Like, I didn't even get the commission yet. But if I was like, I'll do it for free. I'll come in and I'll kill it. And you get another listing, you'll probably hit me back.
I'm coming back.
Especially if that video bangs. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is fire. You know what I mean? So
how long were you doing that for? How long were you working with businesses? And
I only did that for like 3 years.
Okay.
That wasn't like that fun for me. The passion for me was true filmmaking. I like wedding filmmaking. I like storytelling.
As I was gonna say, because you're telling a true story
from scratch, and you can go so many different directions with a wedding, and it got me hooked. So I don't do anything else. That's just before I was doing music videos, the business, weddings. I really like weddings. I'm only going to do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't really grow something shooting a whole bunch of you can't be a jack of all trades. Like for brides especially, if they come to my website, they just want to see that I do weddings. They don't want to see weddings music video specialist. They want to see weddings. That's what I'm here for. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you're very specialized in what you do.
Yeah, I don't do a whole bunch of different
it's
stuff.
It's really about picking one thing and like getting really good at it.
That's it. Get real good at that one thing. Don't try to do what your strengths are. The strengths for me are weddings. Like I know a wedding, I could shoot a wedding with my eyes closed. You know what I'm saying? Like I know the day, I know the run of the day. And yeah, bro, adapting to the situations.
So how do you throw your own creative flair in your wedding? Because everybody shoots differently. Everybody edits differently. Like how do you go ahead and like, when I watch one of your wedding films, like I could tell like, oh, Darnell made that. Forever Filmworks made that.
That's super dope. I personally, I got away from the cookie cutter. So there are cookie cutter wedding films. Even if you don't know what it is, you know what I'm talking about. The slow-mo montage, the wedding dress, them holding hands, running through the field.
It's like the cookie cutter real estate agent.
Facts,
you know? Yeah. It's like just listed, just sold, under contract, headshot. They made a South Park episode on that.
Yo, I remember that. I seen that one. Yeah. Yo, you got it. Yeah, you got to break out of that. No matter what industry you're in, you got to break out of that normality of doing whatever. It's almost like going against the grain, and it's almost taboo to talk about. Like for me, like for my wedding films, like instead of miking up the bride and the groom, why not mic up the whole bridal party? I literally mic up like 10 people.
You do?
Because I try to make it feel. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I try to make it feel as close to reality TV because those conversations get swept under the rug. People don't realize that when you guys get married one day, and I know you will, there are going to be conversations like,
I'll hit you up.
Yo, bro, Ethan, like, yo, bro, you ready to get married? You scared? You nervous? Those conversations are always off air. Imagine having that audio in your film. Your wife, let's say her name is Amanda. Oh my God, Amanda, your makeup's so pretty. She's mic'd up. I get all of that real time.
You get the emotion,
I get the
adrenaline, the excitement.
Instead of just some soft, beautiful music playing over, having them hold hands, run through the field. That got so boring, bro.
You get like the authentic moments.
You got to get the authentic, uncut, raw. Of course, tell a story with it. You know what I'm saying? And people like it. So that's how I've just been able to book time and time again. It's just doing something against the grain, and something that's a little different from the competition. You know what I mean?
I want to be in the event space. Like the reason I want to partner with you and work with you on these weddings is I really want to learn how to like do events. Like I'd love to be doing weddings, but I'd also love to be doing like a Super Bowl in the future, like doing like these big events or like a conference, like seminars and stuff like that. So it's like just understanding from a production standpoint of like, okay, how do I capture this in the best way possible and make everybody look in their best form? Like that's what you do, is like you mic all these people up, you get the authentic reactions, all these different moments, and you create that, and you have a tangible product of like, look how beautiful this day was.
It's super dope, and it's digestible. And I never want to make a wedding film feel like I just came with a camcorder and hit record. Like that's why I shoot with like 5 different cameras, and I'm cutting so many different angles. Like it's important to just capture as much as you possibly can. So yeah, switch subject a little bit. I want to know about Corey. What led you into the direction that you're going in with your filmmaking and you're wanting to brand businesses? What led you into that?
It's kind of all over the place, honestly. Like I was in college and I was like, I told myself I'm not getting a job.
Like,
like
what college did you go
I
to?
went to Monmouth University.
Shout it out. Shout out.
Yeah,
Monmouth.
so shout out Monmouth University. I went there. I had a good time. I played football there.
Nice.
I did athletic communication. So I did a lot of event broadcasts while I was there, highlights, photography, graphic design, everything for the athletic programs. You go on their social medias, you see all my graphics and highlights and stuff that I made.
It's still
like,
on there.
Yeah, and like we had an alumni event a couple weeks ago, and I'm sitting there eating steak, and there's like in the basketball arena, and I just see like one of my edits that I made from like the spring football game playing. I'm like, oh, like, that's tough. Like seeing I shot all that and seeing it on a big ass screen, I was like, that's cool. But I remember telling my parents, I was just like, I'm not getting a job. Like you, like whatever. Like we're paying this much to go to Monmouth, but like I ain't getting a real job. Like I'm not doing that route. I'm going different. I want something where there's no cap on. I don't want a ceiling on myself.
On your potential.
Because like I dream big. Like I don't just see myself doing videos for small businesses. I see myself 5-10 years down the line working with corporations and big ass companies and having a whole team under me and being able to create these things and impact millions of people. Like I dream bigger than what it appears to be right now. So it's like I got to take these steps right now, these small steps. And me and Ethan talk about it like the consistent, committed, imperfect action. So I'm just doing stuff that I think is going to pay off in the long run. And right now for me, that's working with these small businesses. That's working with restaurants. It's working with you. That's doing all these smaller steps that's going to pay off in the long run.
100%.
So,
and those smaller steps are so important because it's almost like the speed to implementation is kind of what you get when you're like figuring it out. Yeah. For example, to set up this podcast, like we implemented this pretty quick. We made a group chat, and then a couple days later, you texted, and then we hopped on a FaceTime call. In 10 minutes, we had this set up, and then before you know it, we're here shooting a podcast, and we're gonna have video content for all of our platforms. Yeah. Like the speed to implementation is so important, and I think that's kind of what you get when you're like through that journey to getting towards that big goal of shooting the Super Bowl or broadcasting these huge events, which it sounds like is what you're really, what your end goal, what you're passionate about is doing that.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like I feel like I have positive intentions with everything that I want to be doing. Like I want to impact people positively. I want to touch a lot of people. And for me, the way to do that is through social media right now. It's like if I can become a master, if I can become an expert in social media and creating and impacting people with my creations, that's going to ultimately allow me to do the things that I want to do in the future. So it's like
1000%.
taking these steps now and learning at a small scale and implementing that over time and time again, it's going to end up paying off.
Yeah, 100%.
When you decided to make that decision in terms of talking to your parents, when you told them that you don't want a job and this is why, how was their response to that? Like, did your relationship change with them? Was there any sort of friction when you made the decision? Because you dedicated 4 years, I believe it was 4 years, going to school, paying for that education, getting the education, and then you decided to not get a job and utilize that. How did your parents react?
Well, ultimately, at first, I think they were nervous. Like you tell your parents, I'm not getting a job.
Yeah,
like
facts,
they're, oh my goodness, we paid all this money. But at the end of the day, I knew I was taking a bet on myself. I was like, I'm gonna do this. In my head, it's not like, oh, I might be able to do this. It was like, I'm gonna do this. And
it was an easy, conscious decision for you to make because you knew what you wanted.
Exactly. I knew what I wanted. And I did some stuff in the beginning that didn't quite work. I was on Upwork working with people. Nah, that didn't work. I was trying to do stuff online digitally. That didn't quite work. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just walking into these businesses and going, hey, I'll make you a video. Whatever. Here's my card. Whatever. And that's what worked. Is you just got. I just said. Yes. I just started actually betting on myself and going all in on it. And the second I did that, my parents, whoa, like you
created something here.
Exactly. Exactly. And then now my dad's coming to my room asking me every day, like, oh, you had calls today, whatever. Like, you make any videos today? Blah blah blah. Because now it's like I got a full-time. I did this for myself, and I have full-time job income. Just doing this. In 3.5, 4 months at this point. And
you did it quick.
Yeah.
I remember you were like, I started doing this 3-4 months ago, and you have like multiple retainer clients now, right?
Yeah.
You don't.
I was like, that was fast.
Yeah, don't mess around if you're gonna bet on yourself. When it comes to me, I don't fuck around when it comes to me. Like when it comes to me and I say I'm gonna do something, everybody in my circle knows. If Darnell says he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it because I've thought about it, I've planned, I'm gonna do it. Like if you tell me, like, oh, Darnell, I think you should get into crypto or stocks. Or if I don't have the time to really dedicate and learn that, I'm not even going to entertain it. Like, I'm not there right now. You know what I'm saying? I will be. Not that it's not interesting. I do want to learn it. But I'm an all-in type of guy. Like, if, Darnell, I got this property for you if you came to me with a property. And it was I'd have to do the research, raid, see what the property value is in the neighborhood, all that little stuff. Ethan, I'm in with you. Like, I'm very you're
very aware of where you put your mental energy, and when you have enough to utilize it towards something new or a different opportunity.
I don't pick up a lot of stuff and I don't like picking up things and putting them down. You know what I'm saying? If I'm all in, I'm in, and I'm gonna learn it.
I think that's something that I definitely share with you, and I think you share as well.
I think it's a quality we all kind of share. I feel like that's part of
It's that creative mindset. It's almost an addictive mindset at the same time. A lot of the most creative people on our planet are also the most subject to drug abuse and all these other addictive tendencies, right? And I think it's just the desire to create, the desire to experience is at the same time confused for that.
Yeah.
So like somebody like me, somebody like you who has this desire to create, we want to go all in on something. For me, I pick up a guitar and I don't put it down. Right. Or I start surfing and skiing, and those are things that I love so much. I can never give it up. For you, it's the weddings. You start doing that, and you love it so much. Like you're all in.
Yeah,
on those things.
I don't think I'll ever stop shooting weddings. And I love it that much. I love filmmaking that much. I still get butterflies for every shoot. I literally get, you know what I'm saying? Like I was hyped to come here, like just to set up the cameras, the lighting. Like I'm doing a feature one day. I'm shooting a feature movie one day. Like just so I don't get to 60 and I'm like, I should have did that. Or, I hate that could have been, or I should have. I don't want that. So I hate it. I hate that feeling. But
that is an interesting take because I was watching a video about that yesterday, and it's like the pain of regret.
Yeah.
And being able to have the perspective of how you'll feel if you don't do something now is important. Is an important perspective to have that I think a lot of people miss.
Yeah.
And that's why they don't do things now. They think they could just push it back till tomorrow.
Yeah. And a lot of people also think that there's conditions have to be perfect for them to take that step, and it's just take the step.
Almost like you need a plan. You really don't.
Yeah, if you've thought about it, strategize about it a little bit. Jump in. Don't. I'm gonna wait till the summer because things are gonna calm down. No, bro, just do it, bro. Like jump in. It's not double dutch. Just get into it. But I wanna talk about how you got into real estate because I had never heard your story. Like I just knew Ethan does real, and Duffy gave me your card. I'm like, who's this goofy ass kid? I want to know about this story and why you decided to get into real estate at you're still young.
I'm 21.
So, yeah. That's a beautiful thing though. That's by no means that's a bad thing. You have all the advantages. Right. So what made you get into that?
The first thing was I always knew I've always been into investing and building wealth and becoming financially independent. And coming out of high school, I was originally going to the Coast Guard Academy. So that was a 9-year commitment. I'd be in school for 4 years and then I'd be committed to the Coast Guard for an additional 5, and I broke my wrist. So what happened was they deferred me a year, which meant I pretty much had a gap year that I was required to take. And there was one statistic. I knew I always wanted to get into real estate because there's one stat: 90% of millionaires built their wealth through real estate. So I decided, you know, if wealth is important and I want to be financially independent and I want to have a family and kids and I want to be successful when I'm older, I should probably get into real estate. That's where the results are. That's what the stats are showing. So I was like, well, I have a gap year. Why don't I just get into it now? And what kind of raised that idea of getting into it now was I worked for Summertime Surf Camp. Gil Olson, who founded Summertime Surf Camp, I believe they're the largest surf school on the East Coast now. He got his real estate license in 2019. He took 50 listings his first year. He partnered up with this dude, Joe Oz, who used to be the top agent with Keller Williams. And he was like, get your license and we'll train you to do what I did. So that's what I did. I just got my license. I dropped all of my classes. I told my parents 5 days later that I dropped out. That's why I asked you that question, because they, you know, that's not an easy thing to take. And I'm very, I give my mom a lot of credit for going through like kind of like the emotional pain of what is going to happen in Ethan's life, because I pretty much had a full ride. I did have a full ride. The Coast Guard Academy is paid. But, you know, I did that, and then Gil Olson and Joe trained me, and they just took me under their wing, and I just copied and pasted everything that they did.
Wow.
And that's how I built.
You're doing well, though.
Yeah, they taught me how to get into production for the most part.
Wow.
So they got a partnership with Zillow.com, where what Zillow used to do is they would, when you go on Zillow, right? And there's a blue button and it says, see this home at 4:00. Well, how Zillow makes money is you click on that button to see a property. They sell your contact information to a real estate agent, and that's how they make money.
Oh.
Yeah. But the problem is Zillow would sell these leads to real estate agents, right? But the problem was, once they sold that lead to a real estate agent, they had no control over the consumer experience, how the real estate agent handled the connection, whether or not they actually bought a house and accomplished their goal. And there was a problem from a consumer experience standpoint that Zillow had to fix. So what they ended up doing was they partnered with real estate teams based on, you know, the zip codes that you work in. And we were one of their first partners, and they would provide these buyer and seller inquiries to us for free. And they would monitor the kind of experience that we'd give their consumer, and we'd pay Zillow when they actually transact, and we'd pay them a referral based off the commission that we earn. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now Zillow is incentivized to make sure that the consumer is getting a 5-star experience, the real estate agent's doing a good job with following up, making sure they're getting that good experience, and that we're properly trained, and that's Joe and Gil's job, is they work closely with Zillow. Joe Oz is actually on their board of directors or their administrative team or something like that. And they monitor the experience that we give them, and they also make sure that we are trained to negotiate the contract and get them to accomplish the goal that they're trying to accomplish.
Shout out,
and that's how I started.
Shout out to Joe Oz, man. Looking out for my guy, Joe Ox.
Joe Oz, Wizard of Oz.
I said Oz.
Yeah. Joe
Shout out to Joe Oz.
I was just repeating what you said.
Oh yeah. Shout out Joe, man, helping my guy Ethan out.
Joe and
dope.
Gil.
Gil. Shout out to Gil. That's dope, bro.
Yeah,
That's super fire.
And then now I've gotten to the point where, like, that's what got me into production. And then now I don't even work the Zillow connections for the most part.
Nice.
So how do you work it now?
I have just enough of a big enough book of business where I'm just busy enough connecting with people that I've built through referrals and Sphere, and
That's awesome.
through the relationships that I've built over the last 2 years. I have enough clientele to keep my business running.
There you go.
And I don't have time to take these connections and pay out, the Zillow referral. It's just not worth my time anymore.
There you go.
But the great thing is, now when we take listings, Zillow's incentivized to increase our listings exposure on their website. And that's been a huge marketing tool for me, because now I can guarantee more exposure if you're trying to sell your house on Zillow's website, which in turn allows us to outperform a lot of the average listings with a normal real estate agent.
You were showing me that video the other day that you made of the Zillow listing you put up, and you were like, look, it's got 3,000 views or whatever. It had something crazy.
Or we had like 10,000 views.
Oh, that's
on
awesome.
our beach listing.
That's dope. On YouTube?
On Zillow.
On Zillow. Oh wow.
10,000 people looked at a
like
house.
Hundreds
on Zillow.
and hundreds of saves.
Do you ever have a videographer come through, like Corey, like, yo, do a video for me real quick?
So I've done similar. I have done that when I first started, like we've done video. So we partner. The thing with listings is, for the most part, you really just need still photos. The first showing's online. That's the thing. And people, the first showing is when they see the property on Zillow.
And there's no option for video on Zillow?
There is an option, but for the most part, like we do video. I do video primarily for the social media. So like I'll do video for Instagram.
Okay.
Return on investment is a lot better just doing still photos and paying out for pay-per-click ads on Google and Facebook marketing campaigns.
No, I get it, yeah.
It's, doing a video, like people can get a pretty good idea from still photos, and you just need a high enough quality, and you just need to feature the primary parts of the home, like a pool, kitchen, renovated bathrooms, and you just need to, whatever it takes to get that person inside the house. That's the end goal.
Well, tell me if I'm right. I feel the video plays into your business, building you a personal brand. And we talked about it the last podcast, but how you speak to the camera, you speak directly to these people that follow you, all your followers. You speak directly to them on video rather than showcasing your property. You're selling Ethan. You're not selling a house in Bayhead.
You kind of put it into words better than I could have. Yeah, because that's kind of what it is the video work isn't necessarily to sell the house. The video work is to build
your brand.
The credibility and my experience in the industry.
Got it.
To then further, build my book of business. But it doesn't have a significant return on investment when you're trying to, sell a real estate property.
Yeah, because I know a really good real estate photographer. That's why I say that. Like, do you think it's worth it to just take the pictures on your own, or do you outsource that to somebody that knows what they're doing, or like how does that part work?
So we have a referral, like a vendor partner, Motion City Media. They do all of our media work.
Got it.
Yeah. So photos, drones, still, video.
So that company is winning right now.
Oh, they're dominating.
Yeah,
they have majority market share, and Joe and them, they're good friends with the owners because they're based out of Asbury Park.
Okay.
So that's
I grew up in Asbury. Shout out. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'll talk about that later.
All right, we'll talk about it later. No way, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But so we work with Motion City Media, and they handle all of our content when it comes down to property listings.
That's super dope, man. There's so many different ways to go about. I think I just more so like the strategy behind business.
Well, that's the thing. So it gets more creative the bigger you go.
Yeah.
So like when you get into the luxury housing, like I remember hearing a story when someone was selling a huge property on the Hudson River, like millions, it was probably commercial or something, and they rented out a yacht and they hosted a huge event on a yacht, and they had the property all lit up. It was, after dark, and she sold this multi-million-dollar mansion to somebody who came onto the yacht because they had the house all lit up. It was dark, and they were like, "Oh, by the way, this house is for sale."
Oh, by the way, that's for sale. Yeah, see that one over there? That's mine. You want it?
So like the more luxurious the listings get, the more creative you have to be with to get the.
That's what I'm saying.
Buyer. Yeah.
Okay. So
and that's when you might get in.
You might do the video.
You'll do the video.
Well, that's the same
exactly.
thing as like, people, if they're spending $5 million on a house, they want an experience through that transaction.
Yeah.
Same way you're doing the weddings, you want to give the experience.
Yeah.
People buy because they want to experience the buy. It's not just, now I have a house for $5 million.
Yeah, no, it has to. Yeah, when you get up in your price point, I feel like it just has to. I would want it. I would want the show. Like
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I want the whole production. Like I was telling Corey outside. If you're booking a wedding with me, you're spending that's a lot of money. $4,500 for video alone. We're not talking about photos yet. The cost of the venue, that's a lot of money. So, and I recognize that. So I want an experience when you book me. I'm keeping up with. I'm calling you. I'm sending you emails. Like it has to be a thing, right?
When we're listing a house, we review the feedback every single week. Okay. How many views are we getting online? Are we outperforming the other listings? Just to make sure that the client feels comfortable that, even if we don't have any offers yet, because offers it comes in sets, that we're doing what has to be done to get to where we need to be at least.
Right, yeah. And you're keeping up with them because by law, don't you have to present the offer to them? Like, what if it's like a really low offer?
Yeah, it has to be presented.
You still have to present the offer, right? I got my real estate license a while ago. That's actually how I got into video.
Really?
We'll get into that way later. Yeah.
Darnell's just coming full of surprises.
Yeah, yo.
Secretly a realtor.
I have a question for you because you're talking about the experience, you following up with these people and whatnot. We were outside talking about the CRM. Like, How do you balance your weddings? You have a full-time job too, and then you're in the reserves. Was it Air Force Reserves? Or what do you-
Air National Guard. Yep.
Air National Guard, right? So you have all that stuff, and you got a whole family at home. Like, how do you make sure you give everything the time that it needs in your life?
That's a great question, and the answer to that is there's really no balance. And I think a large part of that has attributes to just my business, because my business, I'm the only one sending the emails, editing. But in order to give it some kind of order, I time block very well. I'm very organized. You have to be. There's tons of clips, tons of templates that I use when I'm sending emails, when I'm following up. I got a bunch of reminders. And then again, that goes back to me having the that goes back to me having the second phone when it's family time.
Your work phone's
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it's over. You know what I'm saying? And only you guys, a handful of people have this number, like 12. No lie. You two are in that 12. Not a lot of people can contact me, and I prefer it like that. And, when the business hours are over, I try to hang it up like around 8. And then that time is dedicated to my family, or I might come home from work, take my wife out if it's a nice day. Like the other day, I took her to Del Frisco. We had a drink at some rooftop bar. Like, my daughter is with her grandma right now, going to her best friend's, my daughter's 5, going to her best friend's birthday party. So she's doing that. And, yeah, bro, you just got to block. But I feel like when you're building something, and I want to make this abundantly clear, I don't come from money. You know what I'm saying? I don't come from that. I come from just seeing my father work. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I know is a man getting up. My dad was a welder. He'd get up, catch the bus to work, come home, and, I could look after my little brother. I think that I know now that I'm older, I know that's where I get it from. I don't stop. That's why I said to you, I'm high output. I'm subconsciously afraid to going back to that. And I found a partner that understands that. You know what I'm saying? My wife accepts me. I told her when I first met, look, I'm in law school. I go to school full time. I work full time. I'm running this wedding business. I'm in the Air Force Reserve.
Girl, I ain't stopping.
Yeah, I'm never stopping. It's either you with me or you not.
Yeah.
And we dated, and she felt like it was something she can handle. And now that my schedule's like I'm taking fewer classes, I finished law school next year.
That's incredible. You do all that.
Yeah, that's just wild. I agree with you. It's wild, but I don't, because I'm scared to just going back to. I know where I come from, and I have a family now. My daughter, she's only 5. She goes to the best private school that I pay for. Yeah, it's not a lot. Like, it is a lot, but she's super smart. I see that. She has an account with money in it. I didn't have that growing up, and I think a lot of my wife, my partner, understands that. So with the balance, to answer your question, I went on a tangent for a while, but with the balance, you just need a partner that understands that. And I've just never let up. I'm not gonna say I barely sleep. I probably get like 5-6 hours, but my day is prioritized around my work, my weddings. Weddings are on the weekend, so that's how I shoot them. The job is Monday through Friday. I could take off whenever I want. Like, I've accrued enough sick time where I could just, if I have a Thursday wedding, I'll take off. And, I just have a family that supports and understands that. And my wife reaps the benefits of that. We go on every trip.
Yeah, you go out on a rooftop bar.
On
some random night.
We fly first class. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not. We're flying economy.
We got our knees in our
all right.
chest.
We'll be in DR though. We're good. But my daughter reaps that, and I mean my daughter and my wife. They reap those benefits, and they see how hard I work. So they give me some grace with that. So I can't complain.
You've done well.
Yeah,
I inspired to.
No. I wouldn't want you. I would want eventually the end goal for me. So my end goal. Yeah. I'm still going to shoot weddings. If you get married, I'll shoot yours for free. Corey get married. I would just love that from the heart. There's some friends that I grew up with whose weddings I've shot for free or very cheap, $500 or whatever. And because I love it. But the end goal for me is being an attorney, having my own practice. I think I told you that. Like, that's the end. And then I'm going to combine my experience with branding, marketing myself with my camera stuff, and just being as big as I possibly can. Like, that's end goal. So eventually it will slow down, but not right now.
Yeah, not right now. What kind of law do you want to practice?
So if I go into my own my own
independent practice.
I'll do personal injury, some criminal defense. I'm a corrections officer. You know that already. Been a CO for 11 years. Working for the DEA right now. So my life has always been like law enforcement. So I have a heart for criminal defense because I know a lot of wrongly accused or people that are rightfully convicted, but the judge threw the book at them, meaning you broke the law, but damn, bro, 20 years. Like, that's it. Like, people, how can you defend people that you know? It's not about defending them knowing that they're wrong. It's about making sure that they get a fair trial. You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of, this is my weird perspective. I don't know how good it is of a perspective to have, but like in terms of legal, or at least when you're in those positions, it's like being an attorney or at least a judge, it's like, when do you bend the rules to actually like?
No, you don't. You don't even have to.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. Like, you could just really do your job. You can look up case precedents and go off of, okay, this person, got convicted for this. Why is he getting 20 years and this person's getting 5 years for the same crime?
Same crime.
Which that ran rampant in the prison system. I'd have inmates that some are in there for 20 years for murder or manslaughter. Manslaughter is a lesser case or a lesser crime. And another guy, same case, and he got 10 with an 85. You know what 10 with an 85 is? So you get 10 years, you only got to do 85 of that. 85%.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
And then the 15 is on parole.
Yeah, there you go. So I just want to make sure people get a fair turn, bro. You know what I mean?
And you've seen that not happen, and that's why you're personally passionate to
about criminal defense,
make a difference in that field.
And if you ask me about money, personal injury. That's where it's at.
Yeah. So you being in that prison system as a corrections officer, is that what ultimately inspired you to become a lawyer or influenced you?
1000%. Yeah.
And was that in your mind
1000%.
before you became a corrections officer?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I went to the University of Massachusetts. I'm from Massachusetts. Went to UMass, graduated with a degree in economics, and I worked at TD Bank at the time. Thought I was going to be a analyst or something, and I seen what the entry level pay was, and I was like, "Fuck that!"
You're out.
Yeah, I was out. My uncle was the chief of police, or not the chief of police. He was the the warden for the prison.
Yeah,
and he said, "Yo, take the civil service." Sorry for ratting you out, Unc, but he's like, "Yo, I'll expedite your application." But he didn't have to because I scored like a 90 out of 100. Well. I did well on it, so they put you at the top. So I got in super fast. Graduated in May. Started going through my phases in like June. I worked at Home Depot in between. How I got into video, so this is where life takes a turn. So we'll go back to the corrections, park that. How I got into videography was I was a CO 3 years, and I was on third shift. So third shift at the prison is 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. I would get out at 6 a.m., sign up for some real estate courses. Weren't during the day because the day courses are shorter. It was like 2 weeks. If I went at night, it would have been like 3 months or something crazy. So I was like, nah, bro, I'm going to just go during the day. I'll just wake up and go. So I would go to the classes from like, I think it was like 9 to 5, 9 to 4, something like that. And then took the test, passed it, got a listing, won. And I was already in video. I've been in video for a long time. I wasn't as good as I am now, but I had a camera, put out a decent video, sold the property.
Let's go.
And another realtor, seen my video. Bro, can you do a video like that for me? And it just kept going. And I made more money from that than selling properties. Because getting listings, for Ethan, he's probably killing it, but for me, it was few far in between. Like
it's hard. It's hard.
It took a lot.
And everyone knows somebody. They have a mother.
Exactly. Everybody knows somebody who they'd rather give the commission to, and
yep.
So I just kept shooting the videos, and that's how I got started in the video. Never put a camera down.
Snowball effect down the line. You got real good at the video and started transitioning to
started doing music videos. Met my wife. She was like, "Yeah, no more ass shaking videos for me. You're doing all these music videos. I'm tired of these girls shaking their ass." So
is that how you and your wife met?
No, we actually met on Facebook.
Really?
We met on the book. Yeah. We met. She's from Jersey. We've been friends since 2013. Neither one of us knew it. I didn't know who she was. And then, been together ever since. Took her on a date. We dated 30 days straight. Then I had to go to BMT. So I was like, yo, I'm leaving. If you're here when I get here, that's a good thing. If you write me letters, because they take your phone. And she's still here when I get back. Yo, she's the one. And she wrote me for 4 months. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, came back. waited another 6 months, proposed to her. I feel like when you propose, like it's one of those like you just know things. I really just knew. I dated hella girls before that. None of them gave me that vibe. You know what I'm saying? You know the vibes. So
I know pretty well when it's a no.
yeah, and parents do too. Parents like, why are you? Nah, you ain't it. Parents know, but it's one of those things. You gotta follow your heart, kind of things.
Like
you
the
know
full
what
body yes. Like
Yeah,
you feel it or you don't feel it.
yeah, bro. So
How long you been married for now?
a year.
Oh, 1 year. Okay.
Yeah, I got married last August, and we got married in Jamaica. Super
cool.
dope.
So Darnell, I want to ask you about what other creative endeavors you have done other than the videography, the weddings.
Creatively, just filmmaking.
Just
Honestly,
filmmaking?
just filmmaking. You know, I felt like that's where my strength was, so I played it. You know, because filmmaking is one of those things where I can literally talk about it. I could talk about that unscripted. You know what I'm saying? I could talk about it for hours. Something that would probably come like a close second is when I was younger, my father had me in piano lessons. I played the piano like really well, and it stuck. And I have one in my house. I have one. I started making my own scores to my wedding films. Simple stuff though, simple stuff, and that's obviously I charge extra for that. But you know, just some string sounds, some light guitar sounds, just some basic melodies, and it'll be a 100% custom. I only did that like twice though. But trying to combine those two worlds, that's really about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I feel that the creative stuff bleeds into one another. So for me, like I always grew up. Go ahead.
That's exactly where my head was going with this
Yeah.
conversation.
Like the creative stuff for me, like I started when I was younger. I would make little comic books, and I would make little comic books in my journal or my notebook, and then that transitioned into me starting the piano in middle school, and then in high school I got into the videos, and in college I picked up a guitar, and the whole time I was doing that I was surfing and skiing, which is creative in itself, and it's like all these different activities that I have, and now I journal and I write songs and play the guitar and do all these things. I feel they all bleed into each other. So I was just wondering from your perspective of like how do you feel that creativity got unlocked in you? If you started doing the filmmaking at a later age, like did you always have that?
I feel like it did get started at a later age. I always tell myself, not that I'm a father, like if I didn't have, I don't know how to word this. I didn't have the support to dibble and dab. Like I had to get money. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing illegally, but I always needed like a solid job. Like I didn't have that.
Well, yeah, you said in between you were working at Home Depot, for example.
Yeah, I was working at Home Depot. Like I didn't come from the family structure where I could take that risk into things. Sort of like how you're able to do that. You have the foundation.
I had a full cushion.
Yeah, you have a cushion. I didn't have that cushion. It was just my dad, and I had a little brother. Like I had to help my dad with my little brother. Like I didn't have that freedom. And then when I got the corrections, which I hate the job. It's super stressful. I would say that I can deal with stress a lot better now because I'm very like, I don't know, not stoic's the word, but I'm very like numb to.
You've built you've built stress tolerance.
Yeah, I have a high stress tolerance.
I think that comes with the as you grow and scale, at least in the business world. I can deal with a much higher stress situation now than I was able to a year ago. Yeah, for sure,
1000%.
So I do think you build.
Yeah, you got to build that tolerance up.
Tolerance.
But now that I've gotten to a place where corrections, which was my cushion, that was my conduit to now I can buy a camera because I had the money. I was making money from being a CEO. I would work overtime. The overtime was always there. I would work overtime, buy a camera. I was in the Air Force. I took orders for 6 months. When you take orders, you're able to double dip. I was getting paid from both the Air Force and the prisons. I was working the system. Boom, bought my Blackmagic. That's my first cinema camera. That camera cost so much money for me. It was like $2,700, but that was the most I've ever spent on. All right, if I buy this, I'm really doing this.
Well, you were invested in yourself.
Yeah, I was invested in myself, like because I really wanted to do it. Before that, I had a Canon EOS R, which was a great camera. Loved it. But that's a totally different beast. And then boom, I bought my Canon C70. That was a $6,000 camera. I was like, damn, bro, like never mind the lens. You know what I'm saying? Like I still gotta buy a lens for this thing. Spent another $2,500 on a f2.8 70 to 200. Like it was, now I had the foundation to catapult me into the direction that I wanted to be. Boom, did music videos, did videos for businesses. I only like weddings. That's where I mind shift. Weddings, I don't want to get emotional saying this. Weddings changed my life easily. Weddings changed my life. I've been shooting them so long, and I have so many clients in the pipeline, so much money in the pipeline now. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if I have a few dead months, I'm still getting paid from clients that booked me last year, because I take 50% deposits, then the next 50 due a month before their wedding. And it just doesn't stop. It literally doesn't stop. And I book like 10 weddings a month. It doesn't stop. And I've built that myself, and it's not even a financial, for me, it's not even a financial thing. The money's great. It's like a game almost. All right, I made this much this year. How much can I make next time? It's a game.
It's
like
the game of life,
it's
baby.
the game, bro. Like it's so fun, and but what feels even better is giving the client the finished product, giving the bride the finished product, and she's like, "Oh my God. I cried. I watched it several times." That feels so good, bro. That's awesome.
A good reception of your work as a creative person is always...
Nothing beats that. And then when I get those DMs like, "Bro, nothing beats that." And I don't gatekeep. So I'll tell you whatever you need to know. And I always tell people, I'm a big advocate of, give everybody everything. I'm gonna teach Corey everything about the little stuff, because you already have a great foundation. I'm gonna teach you everything about the little stuff. But at the end of the day, if I teach you everything, this is what people don't get. If I teach you everything that I know, you'll never be able to do it like how I do it. You're always gonna have your style. You know what I'm saying? Like, your style is your style, my style is my style, your style is your style. Like, it's like a thumbprint. Everybody's is different.
Exactly.
Like, everybody's creative is different. So I don't mind sharing information with the world.
It's like putting a different lens on a camera. Like, the camera's the same, you put a different lens on it, the picture's gonna look different. Like, it's the same exact thing. It's like, we're just reflecting one event.
Yeah.
So this is, I was talking to my friend about this the other day, and I think you'll resonate with this, is of like, the reason I like videography, the reason I like photography so much is because we're always in this moment. Like this moment right now, we have this podcast, and with a camera, we can go ahead and we can capture something about this moment and show it and display it in a way that nobody else sees.
No, a different perspective.
Exactly. So every picture, every video is a different perspective of every moment. And now you're at a wedding, and I'm at the same wedding with you in this next month while we start doing this, and both of our perspectives are going to be completely different, but they're both going to be captured beautifully in their own unique way. And that's why I love the videography is like, let's take this moment and make it look stunning. Let's make it look amazing in its own unique way. Like, and
that shit's dope, man.
It's so cool.
Yeah. It's just dope.
And it's out there forever. It outlives you.
It's out there before. It's out there forever. It's out into the world, and it's dope.
Video is very interesting to me. To like kind of branch out of just weddings, because it's really impacted every industry in some kind of way. Because you were talking about becoming an attorney and talking about your experiences bleeding into one another. As you do wedding video professionally, you own a business and you operate very efficiently. When you start your attorney practice, you now have your sales, marketing. You already have all these systems put together that can bleed into allowing you to succeed in a very short period of time as an attorney. Very short period.
First year, 1 million.
First year, you'll be crushing it.
I'm putting money on it. First year, 1 million.
I guarantee it.
I try to tell people, no matter what industry you're in, real estate, business branding, weddings, doctor, lawyer, it's the same.
The operations of running a business
the operations
is all the same.
are, and I'm so glad that I learned that during weddings. I mean, I really had to learn it because I didn't know what a CRM was in the beginning. I didn't know about nurturing and following up with clients and sending emails and having templates in place so you could just cut time. I didn't know none of that. How to edit faster, how to outsource. I told you, I don't even edit feature films anymore. They're just taking too much of my time.
How did you learn all of that? Because I learned it from my mentors. Did you have a mentor, or did you really DIY it off of YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube University.
Wow. So you really built this whole business off of YouTube.
My wife will tell you, anything that I want to learn, I'm YouTubing it. And I'm like religious about it though. Like staying up all night until I know it down.
Well, because you're obsessed.
I'm obsessed. I'm literally obsessed with it.
now.
I was literally obsessed with weddings. I met a guy online. Not I met him, but I bought one of his courses. His name is Ray Roman, one of the best wedding filmmakers in the world. He charges $15,000 for a wedding. He only shoots luxury multi-million-dollar weddings. And I bought his course, combined that with the YouTube videos, combined it with just my desire to learn. I was always so hype. And I learned it, bro.
And I was like, when I was talking about how video has impacted every space, for example, the education space. Like you bought this course, you are now able to access all of everything this dude has learned and his personal experience in this industry as a professional.
Yeah.
And you're able to absorb all that information through video.
Yep.
And it's scalable, it's, personable, it's real. And I think video, I mean, it's impacting every aspect of every business in the entire world.
Yeah, it changed my life for sure. That's why I know Corey you never shot a wedding before, so you'll probably naturally be a little nervous, but I mean, I know weddings backwards, and you'll have me there with you. So, you know what I'm saying? I can shoot a wedding with my eyes closed. Weddings, man, bro, weddings just change. Just having that extra income on top of my main income is just crazy. Just the freedom that I feel like I have.
Opens up.
Yeah, if I want to do, my credit is way better just because I'm not putting nothing on credit cards. I just write it off.
When you got access to that freedom, like you really all of a sudden had the income to kind of completely do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. Not whatever, but close.
Yeah, not whatever. But of course there's boundaries and restrictions. But would you say, has that impacted your way of life at all, or your habits, your daily habits? Has that impacted like your daily schedule at all?
Like being financially, a little more financially stable.
I guess when you were fully like financially capable, where like you could stop working, and chill on a beach in Jamaica for the rest of your life. Did you really just, you're so, I guess, goal driven or passion, you know what you want to do, to where that never really impacted like your day-to-day tasks, did it?
Nah, I wouldn't say. I would say I pay attention to the money a lot more, and I'm a lot more organized and structured and intentional with my time in my life, because I have to be. Like after this and I go back home, I'm going to hang out with my wife for a little bit, but then I'm editing tonight, because I have to be. I try not to let money change me. I don't splurge, but if I do want something like Apple Vision Pro, I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. But I really don't splurge. Most of my money goes back into the business. If anything, I pay my subscription. My subscriptions are hella expensive. So, my wife knows money has to be, I pay myself last. People say pay yourself first. I pay myself last. So I have to make sure that everything's good. My rent, my car payment is crazy. We live in a nice ass townhouse. I just got to make sure that everything is good before I spend. But the money's more so like a marker for me. Like I told you, if I make 20 grand one month, I want to make 50 grand the next month, and so on and so forth. And I just try to be as humble. Anybody that has questions about it and wants to know how, I'll be happy to teach them. Like I know if Corey said, I want to do weddings and just weddings, well, I know I can make him money off of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that I can.
You know what you're capable of.
Yeah, now at this point, it's like, that's why I was like, Corey, like come with me. You shoot weddings with me, bro. Film your own content and build your own shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I appreciate that so much, because the first time I called you, I was on the phone with you for like 30 minutes.
Oh, facts, yeah.
Remember, I texted you. I was like, yo, Mike Duffy, give me your number. Like, can I give you a call and ask you a couple questions? You were like, for sure.
Yeah, 1,000%.
We're on the phone for 30 minutes just chopping it up. And I was like, yo, I like this dude a lot.
Yeah, bro,
And you're teaching me a lot, even just on the phone. And now sitting down with you, like, you're playing life like a game.
It is. Bro, if you go into my room, I have every Monopoly board ever made.
I remember. Yeah. I remember you showing us the backdrop
on the IG live,
bro. It is. I hate this. It is a game, bro.
It is a game.
And there's people in first place. Bill Gates, Elon Musk. Are they smart? Yeah, absolutely. But they're no different than you and I. They just know how to play the game.
Steve Jobs said that. He was like, well, you realize everything in this world was created by people no smarter than you.
Yeah, there you go. There's people. You ever played like a cell phone game or something? I'm trying to use this analogy. It might not make sense to you. It makes sense to me. You play like a bathroom cell phone game. You're on a toilet playing a game. There's people, whatever game it is. You ever seen like the ranks? There's people in first place.
Like Doodle Jump?
Oh, whatever. Yeah, there's people in first
Flappy
place.
Bird?
Yeah, Flappy Bird. That's an OG one.
OG game.
There's people in first place, and there's people in 100th place, 1,000th place. It's just people that are just playing the game a lot more, and they're doing it at a more efficient way than you. We don't know how they're doing it because we'll never be able to sit down with them. But I think that, yeah, bro, I've learned how to play this one game in particular very well. And you could take everything away from me tomorrow, my car, as long as I got a camera, I'm making money, bro. You can give me the cheapest camera at this point. I'll film your shit with an iPhone and still make money. You know what I mean?
Well, you have the knowledge now. So
Yeah, I have the knowledge.
That's the biggest
That's the
thing is
thing.
experience and knowledge means so much more than having money in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've learned so much over the last years as a corrections officer, from you going to UMass, from you doing these weddings, from you going into the Air Force, all that stuff combined, like you're just a well-rounded individual.
Yeah.
Like, and all those things bleed into one another and like create exactly who you are now. You take away everything and give you an iPhone, you can go into a business or you can go to a bride.
Yeah, I'm making money.
Exactly.
I'm making money hands down. And
But even for me, for example, like the experience that I've built over the last 2 years, if I were to leave New Jersey and you were to throw me in, anywhere in the country, and all I had was an iPhone, I'd start calling the entire neighborhood and I'd build a book.
Crazy.
I could build a book of business in 6 months because
Yes.
I did it. I've already done it and I know how to do it. I could do it again.
That's why if you take all of Bill Gates' money away from him, that's why they say the first million is the hardest. Because once you learn how to make that, this is the journey.
Because it's the person you have to become in order to make the
to
$1
make
million.
that million. You're
Yeah.
always going to know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I make X amount of dollars from weddings per month. I will always know how to do that. You can never take that away from me. That's why I'm not, and I'm on the same plane as you. I don't want to work for nobody, bro. Like I don't. If I'm at the point now, if the job I'm at now, if you get smart with me, I'm walking out.
I'm done.
It's like, you don't need this job, right? Actually, I want to be here. It's a difference. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not just the knowledge, it's the drive too. Because you think about it, when you're getting started, you don't know what it takes to actually succeed in what you're doing. You don't know the capacity and the output that all the energy you have to put in. It's you learning what goes into every day, how early you got to wake up in the morning and how you got to time block and how much time and energy has to go into creating this thing. Once you learn that, then the rest just falls into place.
You got to be organized, especially when you're high output. Ethan, when you start going crazier with your listings and you got more investments going on, you have to be organized. You have to be. I can't, because you miss one thing and you say, I'll put it back an hour. That's going to mess up everything else. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with you. When you start getting these businesses, you have to be organized. I have everything written down 3 times. Once on my whiteboard. I have a whiteboard at home that I write everything down on. I have a little book that I have all my weddings in, all my events, and then my phone, everything. That I can't miss it. You know what I'm saying? I know photographers and videographers that have missed weddings.
That's absurd.
It's crazy.
Imagine.
Said, bro, bride calling you. Oh, where you at? It's Saturday. I'm getting married. Where you at? Yo, that's happened, bro. It's happened. You gotta be organized.
And that hurt. Like that hurt me. If I missed my own, like if I'm supposed to shoot your wedding and you had your wedding and you'll never have that recorded now, and then that's
your
put
ass,
on
bro.
me, bro.
What about
That would hurt.
You would never miss an appointment with a client that you're about to show a house to.
That's like if you
Ethan,
want to.
where you at?
Yeah, and it's like final and best offers due tonight at 5, and it's like
Yo,
because I didn't show up, you now
Or
won't.
because you didn't write it down because you're
I
so
didn't-
busy.
Because I'm so busy.
You're gonna get to a point where you're busy. You have to write it down. People think that they can just, I'm gonna remember, bro. No, you won't.
Google Google Calendar, bro.
Google Calendar, bro.
my systems are very organized. Like
There you
my
go.
email, my emails get tagged directly by the deal. So I have like colored organized tags per deal. So like all my emails are beautifully organized. All of my clientele, for example, like I hosted an open house. Every single person that comes in, there's a QR code. They scan it. They put their name, phone number, email. If they have an agent representative, they check yes and put their name in. And that when they submit that Google form, I created a Zapier automation to auto import that into my CRM with a separate tag for that specific open house.
That's great.
So I come home, I organize the tag, and now I have a list of the 15 groups that came through, and I can contact everyone directly.
There you go.
Like
You need a
those
system.
systems of organization, as I'm growing, is like you said, it's very important.
Yeah.
And I'm trying very hard to like make sure I have that on lock as I grow and scale because it's happening fast.
Yeah.
And it is starting to getting out of control.
It gets that's second phone.
Yeah.
Because you're going to need to put it down sometimes. Same thing for you. Like I'll show you Honeybooks. Once you schedule something in Google Calendar for Honeybooks, I'm not a sponsor, by the way. I just love your system. Once you schedule something in Google Calendar, it automatically goes to your Honeybook. It syncs it right to that, and it'll send you an alert, and you can set it. You got a wedding 3 days out or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's for me, it's a flawless system. But yeah, you have to be on. You have to. You're dealing with other people's money. It's your business. It's your brand on the line. And the last thing you want is for your shit to be tarnished. You know, because I know in the real estate community, it can be a small community. Oh, it's fucking guy Ethan missed my, missed the open house. Where the hell? It's going to, circulate. People are going to start saying bad things about you. You don't want that, bro.
And it might not necessarily be, I mean, it is your fault. However, it could also, that could just have been an outcome of being too busy or having too many, just being disorganized and having too many things going on to where you forget something that's vital or a priority.
Set the standard for yourself that you can't be disorganized. And if you have to miss a meeting, communicate that to your client. You know what I'm saying? We're in a people's-based business. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be on point.
If I'm going to be late, I'm going to call you and tell you I'm 20 minutes late.
Yeah.
It's a lot better to set that expectation an hour before than to just not tell them and show up 20 minutes late.
Yeah, facts, yeah. I hate being late except for today. I got a flat tire. I don't know how that happened. But punctuality is everything. So
just communicating with people, being transparent, being honest with people. Like, I feel like that means the most at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If you can just be your real self, just be authentic with people, you're gonna have good business relationships. You're gonna have good family relationships. Everything's gonna be great if you could just communicate yourself well and
you win the game of life.
Win the game of life. It was good.
We
kind of came full circle with that.
Dude, that we've circled back to that multiple times, which makes me feel like we came up with a really good name.
Yeah, I like it.
What, the game of life?
Yeah, it's the name of the pod.
Oh yeah, that's a good name.
Yeah.
You gotta patent that. Make sure nobody takes it.
Yeah, we gotta
do it right, bro. See, you playing around with your brand. Somebody gonna take. I'm gonna take that name right now.
Are we buying the domain?
Right. Did you buy the domain?
No.
You guys. I bet you it's taken.
We just came up with this.
Yeah.
Honestly, it probably is.
This has been awesome. Chopping it up with you guys. You guys are I'm attracted to you guys, not in that way, but you have to be attracted to people that are like-minded and like you. Like, I hate feeling like the odd one out because I have a whole bunch of shit going on. People are like, oh damn, like, it's like, bro, like, you should be doing more with your life too, my guy, because I have people in my immediate circle that are doing way better than me. You know what I'm saying? But they also teach me. You need people like that, like creative people. Yo, Darnell, I'm doing this, bro. Go for it. You need people that motivate you. Yo, I'm hesitant about doing whatever. Yo, go for it, bro. You only live one time, as far as we know. Yeah, we might be reincarnated. I don't know. Come back as a bird. Then
people
you
that
can't
will kind of, you need the support of going against the grain.
Yeah, bro. If like my friend circle, if they're fucking up, I'm gonna tell you, bro. You fucking up. You could be doing more right now. Like, you guys don't give me that impression, but I'm sure time will pass and I'll grow closer to you. If you guys are doing some weird shit, I'm like, all right, bro, I seen you.
The constructive criticism is,
yeah,
it's good. And if you were to tell me that I'm doing something wrong, I would take that seriously.
Or tell you what you could be doing better.
Or
you got to hold your friends accountable. Not in and you don't mean any malice. Just be real, bro. Like
I generally think you would be happier and you would be more fulfilled if you weren't doing this and you did this instead or something like that.
Take it with a grain of salt. Take it or leave it. I'm just giving you my 2 cents because I care enough. If I don't care about you, I'm not saying nothing. I don't care. And that's not affecting my life. Be great, bro. But yeah, that's my takeaway.
My takeaway is I'm happy to be sitting here with people that are so driven and so they want it bad. Like, both of you guys want it, you know what I'm saying? And like, for me to be able to sit here and talk to Darnell, who's doing almost exactly what I want to be doing in a different way, but like, sit here and be like, wow, he's done this successfully. Like, I can learn so much from him. And even from our relationship of like, we're not in the same industry at all. Like, you're in real estate, I'm in video, but like, we learn stuff from each other every time we sit down and talk.
It's important.
So like Darnell said, supporting each other, learning all the time, growing all the time, building positive relationships. Like, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. One of us are going to be a millionaire. I told you.
I say all of us.
Ethan's going to be a millionaire, bro. Like, I just feel it. If not, then really, really close to it.
Yeah, dude.
And when I say millionaire, I mean like liquid million in the bank. That's what I mean. Not just in assets. You're going to get the $1 million in assets. I feel like that part's easy. But liquid million.
Yeah,
I have a liquid $1 million in my. That's crazy.
Bitcoin. Bitcoin. You're at all-time high, baby.
But yeah, go ahead, E. What you got
Awesome.
for us?
My takeaway, I'm just happy to find, like, finally start working and talking and building relationships with people who've kind of had a very similar life experience of going against the grain and trying to create and build something for themselves. Because, you know, I'm young, and all my experience, you know, when I got my real estate license out of high school was like I really just buried myself in my own room.
Yeah.
And like everyone else went to school.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just me figuring me out.
Yeah.
And like to meet other people that have gone through that is like a pretty good sense of relief.
Everybody, we all put our head down and grind, man.
Bro,
You're not alone, bro.
That's my takeaway.
Oh, yeah.
It's good. It feels good to
Awesome.
be here right now.
Hell yeah. Now we got to go eat.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
I'm
Good
starving.
work, boys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that is the Game of Life, episode number 3, with our guest Darnell.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, bro. This was awesome.
Yeah, no,
I'm psyched.
This was great. Corey's
All
going
right.
to edit.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go. That was good.
Cool.
Good job, boys.